Milwaukee, that means I love you. Welcome to WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. You're listening to Nyumba Upendo. That's the House of Love with Kweku Amawasi. I'm missing my co-host, Dr. Alicia Mutri, but she gonna be back next week. And I'm in with Byron and Jermaine. Right out. What's good, fellas?
Hey, man, I can't complain at all, man. It's a blessing to be here, man.
Man, it's a beautiful blessing, man. I want you to cue up that instrumental, man. But before I start, we cannot start the show before we do our two P's. Brother Gat Turner, as in the tradition of our ancestors, we must ask elders for permission to speak. I've been granted that permission by my mama, and not only did she give me the first P for permission to speak, but she offered a prayer for the people, for the show, that the words that come up out of our mouth might be able to bless our community, to help us to be our best selves, be on our best behavior, and do the things that's best. She didn't put this part, but I'm gonna add it in, what's best for ourselves.
Yes, sir.
For our family.
Yes, sir.
And for our people. Is that all right?
That's good, man. Can't have too much prayer.
Listen, when I usually start the show, Brother Gad, I do a dedication to an ancestor, to somebody who I say, who's the spirit that I want the show to go in? Whose blessings do I feel it needs to go in?
Yes, sir.
And today took me for a loop, because today is my daughter's birthday.
Okay.
But she's not here.
Yeah.
So when you think of that, sometimes like you wake up sad. We've been doing shows on grief, Jermaine. But man, I didn't wake up sad today. And in the spirit of Brother Gat Turner, I'm not a poet, but I put some words together.
Come on, man. Let me hear.
Every year I write a letter to my daughter.
Okay.
To let her know that she's loved, that she's cared about. And this one I wrote, born still, but loved still. The irony of emancipation 18 years ago. Premature proclamation, unwanted declaration. Robbed of every memory, even in my imagination. It's hard to see. What would you be? 5'7", maybe 5'3"? Your life has a tragic asterisk. Birth certificate exchange for a death certificate. No frame, no picture. Can't picture this. Curveball by the pitcher made me swing and miss. No laughs, no smiles, no kiss. To comfort when I reminisce. Ribbons we twist, cries turn to bliss. Our joys in the sky with an everlasting love that requires no goodbye. Energy never dies. My energy never cries. Electricity and connectivity ground in reality. Prayers we heal in them. Balloons sent up. Balloons filled with helium, grounded to the earth, connected by the mycelium. We talk in frequencies beyond vibrations. We speak in celestial tongues, third heaven's revelations, ether conversations. Carnal eyes understands a finite death. Spiritual mind overstands and hears your infinite breath. Princess Tiana, transformation, even in death, you never die. I'm not fibbing by a frog. I was told I got friends on the other side. On every third, your life is honored and remembered, especially in September. Third eye sees beyond this time, third dimension. Elevated intelligence beyond human comprehension. We commune in the timeless fifth dimension. Real talk, armed with this, sometimes sadness still exists. Born still, love still. But let me steal a moment in time when my heart turned to steel. You in my hand, I can still feel. But my baby's an alchemist. After 18 years, in my heart transmuted this hurt into heal. Man. That's for you, my Alicia.
Praise be to Allah, brother. That was dope. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was.
Happy born day, Tiana, right?
Maya Alicia.
Maya Alicia.
Yeah, that was just because of my princess.
Okay, praise.
And so when I say that, we think about, you say, well, why would you put this in the honor just because it's her birthday? But no, because what it is, it's always about how do we heal from her?
Yes, sir.
And when I talk about my baby being an alchemist, how, in the old days, they talk about the alchemist turning the lead into gold. That's what they thought it was. How do I make something that seemingly useless into something worth a lot? But see, they got it wrong. That's the capitalistic thing. And what I love about people who are healers, they're human alchemists.
Yes, sir.
And what they do is they take the hate and turn it into love.
No doubt.
They take the pain and turn it into purpose and the pleasure.
Yeah.
And so I look at my person right next to me. You probably done heard me say his name a couple of times. Brother Shawn Muhammad, better known as Gat Turner in these Milwaukee streets. I welcome you, but I thank you for being one of Milwaukee alchemists. Because I've seen what you've done as a blacksmith, wordsmith, in the community with your words, but not just with your words, but with your actions through the nation, and also through your 9 to 5.
Yes, sir.
And when I see what you do, I'm so inspired by a person who does something not for 1 year, not for 2 years, not for 5 years, not for a decade, but for decades. Because then I say, they're not new to this, they true to this. So I give you these flowers as I welcome you to Nyumba Upendo, brother Gat Turner.
My brother, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Man, I had to give you your stipend after the show is over for that introduction, you know. But hey, man, that's what we do. We out here trying to turn tragedy into triumph, man. And like you said, hate into love, you know. So that's our job, man. And the alchemists now.
We are. You know, we're the modern day alchemists. And when we were talking about putting the show together, I was like, what's the title? And you said, oh, I already got it. I said, it's the community code of conduct. So it's nothing more but the code.
It's the code.
And when you think of a code, you know, this is the symbol. This is to say, like, if you want anything that's functional, you need discipline, you need order. What do we live by? So this is our code of conduct. If we do these things, things work well. And the beautiful thing is when you look at a code, it's in every organization, whether it's legal, illegal, whether it's moral, immoral. If you got a good structure, it's a code of conduct, meaning like if we don't do this, we have no rules, we can't exist.
Absolutely.
So when we look at laws, there's some people I want to kill, brother. God, I ain't gonna even lie. But because of these rules and laws, I had to think a little differently because of the consequences. And that's what a code does.
Absolutely.
And so when we talk about your code, I want to ask you why it was so important for you to talk about this code. But what was the beginnings? What's the root? What's the foundation that allowed this code to build up to be made?
Okay. Well, I would say first, you know, I just want to greet you, brother, in nation greeting words of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
And wa alaikum salam.
Thank you and the brothers for allowing me to come on your show. And
it's a community show.
It's a community show, man. But you know, man, it's love that you would allow your brother to come and you share your platform with me. So I definitely want to acknowledge that for sure.
Respect.
And man, you know, I would say you know, this code of conduct, this is not something that brother Shawn came up with or brother Gat came up with. You know, in 1995, October 16th, I was blessed to attend the Million Man March.
Yeah.
Right. And it was such a magnificent experience for me. You know, I mean, 2 million black men in one place. I mean, every kind of brother you could think of, you know, tall, short, dark, light, Q-Dog, it
was all love.
Muslim, Christian, Rastafarian, 5%, any kind of black man you could think of was there, you know. And we all stood together in unity and one, you know. And the thing that capped off that beautiful day was the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He gave us a pledge to say, right? And this is basically the pledge that he gave us, you know. And when I took the pledge, I took it serious, you know.
Yeah.
And I would wish I could say that I started living by the pledge that day, but I didn't.
But see, I'm gonna pause you right there because this is how stuff happens in life. Like, think of the weather.
Yeah.
If it's raining outside, you know, people say, "Oh, it's raining."
Yeah.
Well, what comes first? Light or sound? The lightning come.
Yeah.
And then what everybody body do? You brace.
Yes, sir.
Because you know that thunder is coming.
It's coming. Yes, sir.
So I look at the lightning like being the seed. This is the fourth coming, like it's coming.
Sir.
So you know the other part's coming. So we just look at it like, and you taught me that it was a seed that was planted. It don't grow the same day.
Right.
But the seed was planted.
Yes, sir.
And it's evident that it was planted by the fruit that's there. And if anybody thought I was talking hyperbole when I was saying it, the introduction, I said not 1 year, not 2 years, not a decade. That was 30 years ago you talking about.
Yes, sir.
It'll be 30 years, October 16th. And you said that was the day the seed was planted for me to go back and make this pledge to my community about how I'm gonna better myself, and that will eventually help build the community. Keep going with your talk.
Well, no, man, I mean, really, you summed it up in a nutshell, you know. So with me, like, the seed was planted, but you know, I was coming back to a hustler's lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I still was selling what I was selling.
So when you was out there, you didn't have on your bow tie.
Nah, man. I was out there with a pistol and an ounce of weed. So,
but see, that talks about how powerful the call was. Because like you said, it was for every brother.
Yes, sir.
And every person had something deep within them that says, I gotta answer that call.
That's what it was. Something stirring in me where I was like, man, I got to go. I need to get there, right? And my L's wasn't straight or nothing, but I was like, I'm going. And when we got a mutual friend, Brother Leon, I was like,
Leon
look,
Gross,
man,
respect.
these people not gonna rent no car to me, man. If you don't go, if you don't rent this car, man, I'm going. But if I end up in jail, it's on you.
That's how you get your guy with that guilt trip.
Hey, look, he loved me enough to rent that car.
Yeah.
You know, and we went and it changed both of us.
Yeah.
You know, changed both of us.
Brother Leon's a great educator in the city of Milwaukee. Yeah. If you don't know Leon Gross, that's a name to know. If you know, you understand why we excited about the things that he do. He has a great love specifically for our young black men, strong black men in the community.
Yes, sir, man. So, you know, I went, I came back, but the seed was growing in me. Right. And
but let me ask you this though, because you said the seed was growing in you. So that meant it was fertile soil. What made that soil so fertile from the beginning? So when it heard that seed, it could be planted.
You know, the scripture said like this: if you train a child up the right way when it's young, it won't depart from it when it's old.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, I had a very strong mother.
Come on.
You know, my mother lived by a very strict moral code. Right.
By the code.
Yes, sir. And if I deviated from it, she'd get me back on the straight path. And I don't have to go into that, do I?
No.
Little discipline. She showed you a little discipline.
Absolutely, man. But she loved me.
Yeah.
You know, and she was training me up the right way.
The neighbor, a tough love. I love
you
that.
know, and I also had a grandmother that was very nurturing. And so she balanced my mother's love. You know, I didn't have my father in my life.
Yeah.
But my mother was strong enough for a mother and a father.
Yeah.
And so it was in me. I had a good understanding of right from wrong.
So those words they said that they might have thought went in one ear and out the next.
Right.
It really was planted.
Nah, it was resonated in my heart. You know, I just was trying to find my way. And you know, when we trying to find our way, you know, sometimes we venture into the destructive.
Yeah.
You know, but when that seed was planted in me, it brought everything back to the surface. And Brother Kweku was breaking down to me cognitive dissonance out in the lobby. And, you know, in the Nation of Islam, we talk about the mental and spiritual resurrection, which is the voice, the consciousness in your mind.
Yes, sir.
That tells you right from wrong, right? But when you was breaking down cognitive dissonance, that's what was going on with me. I was at war with myself because I knew right, but I lived wrong. Right.
Yeah.
So
that's a lot of us.
That's a lot of us, man. And you know, the voice, the consciousness in my mind, that voice got louder and louder. Right. And really, that's the guide to keep you on the straight path. You know, that's really God inside of you that tells you right from wrong and keeps you out of harm's way.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, I said, well, in my community, when I deal with young people, when I deal with people who are having problems in their relationships, really, the core of them is righteousness. I can always find a way to get in there and tug on the best.
I think you need to say that again, because it's like we see people, you know, that was the song said, he saw the best of me, but that's what you said we got to do as humans. But say that again.
Yeah, man. So I always find a way to get inside there and tug on the best part of them. And once I find it, I can get to, I can continue to feed that. You know what I mean? Like, our people are righteous by nature. We just wicked by circumstance, you know? So we
righteous by nature.
Yeah. We was born in sin and shaped in iniquity, but that don't mean that we sinful. That means that when we was born here, it already was dope houses here. It already was child molesters here.
The environment.
Yeah. You know, an environment shapes our reality a lot of times, you know? So, but if you know the nature of the people that you're dealing with, you can tug on it and continue to pull on it until they come up to the surface, you know? So that's what I do, you know? And they, you know, a lot of times other people in the field, you know, Asha Family Services is a culturally specific agency, meaning that our services and curriculums are geared primarily for African Americans.
For our people.
So, you know, traditional agencies, they usually deal from a punitive perspective.
Yeah.
You know, if he put his hands on you, throw him in jail.
Yeah.
You know? But most of the women that come to our agency, they love the men that they with.
Mm-hmm.
And 70% of them going back. You know what I mean?
So how
And
do we fix this?
How
make
do
it
we
right?
fix it? Right. So, you know, and I deal primarily with the brothers,
Mhm.
and I do have advocates that deal with the sisters, because if you just feeding the brother and then you send him back into that environment and she didn't get fed,
You only did half the problem.
come on, still exists. So, you know, I meditated on that and I thought about that, and I thought about the condition of our community. I said, we need a code.
Mm.
We need a code of conduct, because when the police come, it's too late.
Yeah.
You know, we need something where we can hold each other accountable, right? And in love, because the code of conduct is not something that, you know, I don't want brothers, you know, running up on somebody and pick and say, hey, nigga, you violated the code. Jumping on him and stuff. I don't want that. You know what I mean? But I want us to have our consciousness raised.
Yeah.
And then we could point to each other, hey, man.
So you already know you're in violation.
Yeah, you in violation, man. And we came back, you in wrong.
Yeah.
You know, if you wrong, you out there. If you right though, hey, we bringing the cavalry back you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had to get to the point now where we shape a mind that thinks rightly.
Yeah.
Right now, most of our people out here, we thinking wrong. And we justifying it and rationalizing our wrongdoing because we don't have a standard of righteousness to base that on. Yeah. But if you got a loose law, like, so this is not a law where we could enforce it.
Yeah.
But if you got a loose law that we living by, the law is the ladder to which we climb to find love.
Yeah.
You know?
See, man, you couldn't have said it no better. I was always taught that you got law and you got love.
Yeah.
There's a law that tells me I got to feed my children.
Yeah.
If I don't do that, there's consequences.
Yes, sir.
But higher than law were not the same consequences as the love. But because I love my children, I want to feed them the right things, the healthy things, the things that's going to make their bodies grow, the things that's going to let them know, hey, it's love and food. So when you say that, man, it just resonates with, and I think that's the beauty of what you're saying. It's like this code we got. It's already inside of all of us. So when you hear it, it resonates. And I hope everybody listening is saying, what's the code I have? What's the code I grew up with? What's the stuff that I got that I know I'm veering to the left and it hurt? And man, I see our time is coming down to a thing. So what I want everybody to do is I want you to keep listening to Brother Gad, because he's going to talk about the code when we come back. I know y'all keep saying, what's the code? What's the code? We got some points we're going to run down. You're welcome to call at 444-5250, 444-5250. We're talking about the code. What do we have to live by? Not just the code of law, but more importantly, the code of love. And these were seeds that was planted in my brother October 16, 1995 at the Million Man Mark. Hey, you're listening to Nyumba Upendo on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We'll be black in a minute. Hey, welcome back to Nyumba Upendo, the House of Love on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. This is Brother Kweku, better known as the Blacksmith, sitting in with Brother Shawn Muhammad, also known as Gat Turner,
Yes,
a
sir.
wordsmith, a lyricist, a lover of the community, a member of the Nation of Islam. Just as always on, he's in here helping us learn about this code of conduct for the community. And caller, we see you there. We're going to get to you in 1 second. We just want to start off with this community code of conduct. You said it's inspired by the Million Man March, but these are some codes that if we can get inside of us, that it makes our community better. If we individually do it, it makes the community better, almost seemingly in the shortest span of time.
Absolutely. So what I can do is I can go over the code of
All
conduct,
right, let's do it.
and then we can then we can have a little dialogue.
Let's do that.
Okay, so point number 1. I will love my brother or sister as I love myself. Ashe. So you know that one right there. If we just did that one, we would be good, right?
That's why it's number 1.
That's why it's number 1. Then number 2, it says I will keep my community clean and safe and encourage others to do so. Ashe. So I don't know if y'all have seen this before, but you ever been riding behind somebody and they throw like a bag of McDonald's out?
It hurt your heart, man.
Hurt my heart, man. I be wanting to ram into the back of their car sometimes.
Yeah. Come on, don't do this to us.
Hey, you live here. And if you don't live here, it's an even worse violation. Okay. So I will strive to improve myself spiritually, morally, mentally, socially, politically, and economically for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. Ashe. I will build businesses, build houses, build hospitals, build factories, enter into domestic and international trade for the good of myself, my family, and my people.
Ashe.
I will never raise my hand with a knife or a gun to beat, cut, or shoot any member of my family or any human being except in self-defense.
See, that's an important caveat right there.
I got to put that on there because, you know, this ain't the this ain't the punk code.
Yeah. We ain't about to get walked over. So
right.
Don't take it there. We ain't got to go
there.
Right.
That's right. Ashe. So I will never abuse my wife or partner by striking her, disrespecting her, for she is the mother of my children and the producer of my future.
Ashe. Man, that sounds beautiful.
I will never engage in the abuse of children, little boys or little girls, for sexual gratification, for I will let them grow in peace to be strong men and women for the future of our people. Ashe.
You know, I just got to stop you there because even when you go into the pen, you know, it's levels to crimes, but it's certain things everybody said, no, we're going to do this.
Oh, yeah.
And you do this.
Yes, sir.
They got something waiting for you.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And I'm no judge or jury, but I ain't mad at that one.
Hey, you know what? Like I done had advocates, man, that just can't work with people who did crimes to children.
Hurt the babies.
Yeah.
Because like you said, that put them on a different trajectory. Let them grow in peace.
Absolutely.
Let them grow up to be the power they was.
Absolutely.
See, this is why this code is so important for us to hear and to implement.
Yes, sir. Okay. So number 8, I would not use the B word to describe any female, but particularly my own black sister.
Come on, we can't hurt our mamas.
Right. I will not, number 9, I will not poison my body with drugs or that which is destructive to my health and well-being.
Oh, we're going to come back to that one because that's a big one.
Yes,
and I'm going to say ashe.
Ashe. I will support black businesses, black newspapers, black radio, and black television.
Look at him right now, WNOV, Milwaukee's voice.
That's right. So I will support black artists who clean up their acts to show respect for themselves and respect for their people and respect for the ears of the human family.
Ashe.
I will strive to do all of this, so help me God.
See, that's the pledge.
Yes, sir.
Ashe.
And then I added my own little thing too.
Hey, this is a big one. Milwaukee, you're going to want to hear number 13.
Stop driving recklessly.
Come on.
Stop driving recklessly.
And we all know that, and it's easy to say it, but I think it goes back into number 1 where you said, I will love my brother and sister. Because if you love your people, you're not going to put nobody in danger, especially, you know, for without need and everything like that. I want y'all to sit and marinate on that. Hey, B, if you could hit the picture where they can see the code, we're going to put the picture on the code, but we're going to go to our caller. Caller, we want to thank you for waiting on Nyumba Upendo. You got a question or a comment for Brother Gad?
Yes, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
Yes, sir, brother Shawn.
How you doing, beloved?
live. I was like stricken by like some type of code or something. So this is when that has contributed to me being out of sight. So anyway, with that being said, Brother Shawn Muhammad, I have a question for you, brother,
Go ahead.
because the words that you just spoke are scientifically based because they were numbers and that represented tenets of somewhat of a proposition or that is being presented to our people with regard to our behavior. And my question is, my dear beloved brother,
Yes,
is
sir.
this. Do you think when it comes to the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, are they more scientific? And if they are more scientific, are they the purpose of them to be applied, whereas we can get the best benefit as opposed to being philosophical about things and just deeply meditating on them and not actually utilizing those things, whereas we could become more powerful. Does that make any sense to you, brother?
Yeah, it makes sense. I get it. Well, let's
All right.
so
Yes,
I
sir.
looked up.
Thank you for
Yes.
taking my call,
Oh man, thank you.
beloved. And I will see you home very soon.
Okay, beloved. Thanks for the
Assalamu
question.
alaikum. Yes,
Walaikum
sir.
salam.
Alaikum salam.
So, science is the systematic study of the structure and behavior of physical and natural world through observation, experimentation, and the testing of theories against the evidence obtained, right? So when you asking if the teachings are scientific, I would say, yeah. I would say, a lot of us claim religions,
Mm-hmm.
we say, I'm a Muslim or I'm a Christian or I'm a Jew, but can you really say that if you don't apply the principles of those faiths that you claim to believe in?
Yeah.
Right. So, of course, we could all sit around and pontificate on what's the best religion, but really, the best religion is doing unto others as you would have them do unto you to do unto you.
Yes.
In Islam, we would say you want for your brother or your sister what you want for yourself. That's really the best religion, right? Now, we can pontificate on certain principles or certain religious rituals and things of that nature, man. But if you're talking about science, then you have to apply what you say you believe in. And then once you do that, based off of the results from your application, you can say whether it's true or good or false, So like what Brother Kweku was saying about loving his children, right? He was saying, man, if I don't, I know I got to feed them because I love them. But really, the fact that you are feeding them is the proof that you love them.
Yeah.
Because love is a verb.
It's an action word, no doubt.
Yeah. So based off of the actions and the things that you are doing, we can look at you and say, he loves his children.
Yeah.
He feeding them, he clothing them, he giving them shelter, he teaching them properly. We can look at that man and say he loves his children. Now, I didn't know my father, right? I knew who he was, but he didn't raise me.
Yeah.
So, of course, he say, I love you.
Yeah.
And maybe he do in
his way.
But my mama showed me that she loved.
So I could feel this in a different way.
Yeah. My grandmother showed me that she loved.
Yeah.
Because of the action behind what she did for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad or any faith that you subscribe to.
What I love about what you said, because you broke down science as a psychologist and then a person who does, different studies and things of that nature. We look for two words. We call them reliability and validity.
Yes, sir.
Meaning what we study, is this really valid? If I'm studying on how a parent loves a child, we want to see the things where you say, this is the evidence.
Yes, sir.
And then reliable, it's like if it's a code, something to teach you how to be a good parent.
Yeah.
If I learn this and you learn this and you learn this, we all do it the same way. So if a study is reliable and is valid, we say scientifically, this is proven to be true. Meaning, if you do this more times than not, you're going to get these results. And if you do things in the world that doesn't have variables like human, I put water and sunlight on the flower, it's growing. That's 100% because I can control all the variables. But with humans, we have a little bit more. So when we talk about this, I think whenever you use words, you've already, as a concept, we've already broken it down to a simplest thing, because the best communication is without words. So when we say science and religion, I think a lot of it's the same, because if you look at the greatest spiritualist, who's also one of the greatest psychologists, is Elijah Muhammad, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Sir. When I read the book, Message to the Black Man, that was like a psychology book. Because it was really about, we talk about an alchemist, it's the transformation. But the funny part is the transformation was like, let's just go back to the basics and do what we're supposed to do. And once I implement these codes, these messages, how to eat to live, the little bitty things, how do I treat other people? That's the reciprocal nature that makes me feel good, that made me want to go out once and destroy these streets. Once I learned a new formula, I want to go in and reform the streets. Absolutely. So whenever we look at usually the people who are the best at reformation, those were the people who knew how to tear down. When I look at your code, you said, I will build businesses, build houses, build hospitals, build factories. But I think it's also about building human beings, building emotions, building that. So when we talk about building these physical structures, it's also emotional. That's why when I hear the code, I say, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So be it, let it be. So it resonates in the people's ear. I want you to go back to number one, though. Because we know it's scientific. It's spiritual. We like if we implement this, we already seen that this can work. It says, I will love my brother. That's easier said than done. How do we get, especially our brothers who are on that left trajectory, how do we pull them back to love, return them to the love that's deep rooted in them?
Well, in the Bible, there was 2 laws, 2 commandments that Jesus talked about. Talked about loving God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And then it also talked about doing unto others as you will have them do unto you. But loving God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength, that in and of itself is going to bring a code of morality inside of you, right? So it really don't matter if you like a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew, if you just subscribe to traditional African spirituality. All of those religions come with a code of conduct. All of them come with a morality code, right? Things that we don't do, things that we do, right? That which is good, that which is not good. It's a criterion. It's a discrimination between that which is right and that which is wrong, right? So now when you find a brother or a sister who is deviating from that, right? If you do unto them as you would have them do unto you, right? Just that alone, even if somebody is deviated, let's say somebody stole your car. Right. You catch him with your car. But you kill him. Now, do the punishment match the crime? Right. So we have to start looking at things from the lens of how do I want to be treated? Right. Even if somebody else is out of order. How would I want to be treated in this situation, right? So we know we dealing in our community with a lot of wrong, right? But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you got to love your people more than they hate themselves, right? So we looking at a people who they not naturally this way. We looking at a people that's been socially engineered to be this way. We've been socially engineered to be our own enemy, our own worst enemy.
Listen, I want to, if I can combine 2 with what you said, because 3, it says, I will strive to improve myself spiritually, morally, mentally, socially, politically, and economically for the benefit of myself, my family, and my people. And then I want to go also down to number 9. I will not poison my body with drugs or that which is destructive to my health and well-being, and tie that into what you were saying. How do us improving ourselves, teaching people how to improve themselves, give them back that God consciousness, that inner divine that lets them know, I know I'm bogus, I know I'm right, and come back here. How do these 2, how do we implement these?
You know what? Really about getting the information out, but a lot of the things that we find ourselves doing that negatively impact our self, our family, and our community, we started doing a lot of that just having fun. Like to these young people, it's fun stealing.
Oh yeah.
It was fun getting high when I got high. You know what it was fun being a misogynist.
Mm-hmm.
We started doing that in the name of fun and didn't even know that we were addicted to it until we tried to stop. Right. So really what we have to do is just elevate the consciousness of our people when we do that with knowledge. Right. So I know you and I were speaking about where do we put this? How do we implement this? Where this needs to go everywhere.
Come on.
You know, it needs to be in the churches. It needs to be in the schools. It needs to be in the mosques, right? It needs to be in the jails.
It need to be in every building that we in.
Yes,
This is
sir.
like you see that Martin Luther King picture in everybody's house.
Yes, sir.
This needs to be up.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
and I say that real talk because not only do we have a code, but now we got a uniform code. So that's what you said. Now my brother can look and we can look at Jermaine and say, Jermaine, 6.
Yeah.
And he already know.
He already
And
know.
now he got brothers who we love and respect.
Yeah.
That's holding him accountable.
Yes, sir.
And now it's cool to do the code. And in fact, if you don't do the code, we looking at you like you to the left. And because you want the warmth and the love of the community,
yes, sir.
it compels you to go ahead and do that. Now, I know we got a caller on, but what I want you to think about this, because I got another question is,
Okay.
in this socially engineered world that we live in, where everything we try to put out, they're pouring more gasoline on. When we're
Yes,
trying to
sir.
put the gas out, the fire out,
Yes,
they're putting
sir.
more gasoline. I want to think about how do we overcome that social engineering, because we can't just leave, even though that might be a suggestion.
Yes,
I want
sir.
you to think on that. Caller, you on WNOV's 868M with Nyumba Upendo, House of Love. You got a question or comment for Brother Shawn?
Yeah, I got a question, brother, and a comment. But first of all, my comment is that you on point when it comes down to being on one accord to the Creator. But my question is the morality of it. If you can come to God using any of these other avenues, any of these other streets, some of these streets don't subscribe to a deity that got up and lived again, you know, or for the actual deity of our sin. Do we believe in sin? That's what we have to first ask ourselves, because if you believe in sin, then you would have no problem with believing in God. So my question to you is, how can you named a bunch of different religions, and that's all good. All of them are full of morality. They have their own morality, and most of them subscribe to the same beliefs. It's the good old Bible, you know, or the Judeo system, or even years later come the Quran. You know, well, actually the Quran came before the 1611 book, but I'm not here for no history lesson, man. So why is it that Christianity is hated so much when it's the guide to mostly all the religions that you name? Even going back to the Eat to Live, I read that book, and guess what? I subscribe to some of the stuff in there, man.
Yes, sir. Well, I would say the reason why Christianity catches the flack that it catches is because of its relationship to our enslavement as well, right?
Okay.
So,
Now, I expected to hear you say that.
Well, I'm just trying to answer.
But Christianity, but brother, Christianity goes back way
I
before
know
there
that,
was
brother.
slavery.
I know that. I'm not disagreeing.
And then
with
you got
that.
to look at the Quran. The Quran really enforced that before slaves even
Yes,
got
sir.
to the
Hey,
American.
Meech, you got to let them answer the question, though.
Meech,
Okay, yeah, but you
I
want to
would've
live
said-
a
I
fast
would've
life.
said
I
all
don't
of
want to play
that.
this moment slow.
I'm
So
just
make it
saying,
happen.
I would have said all of that if you wouldn't have interrupted me. But you
I'm sorry, brother.
answered your own
I'm
question.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so now I was gonna say the reason why Christianity catches the slack that it catches is because of its relationship to slavery, and similarly, Islam also catches flack because of its relationship to slavery with the Arabs, right? So now that's real. That historical aspect of that is real, you know. But I know that Christianity was, you know, you can go back to Ethiopia and we see the cross and everything down in Ethiopia and all of that. So we know Christianity didn't start with slavery. However, the flack that it catches is because of its relationship to slavery and the slave master and the white deity that they gave us that they call Jesus, which we all know is not Jesus. So that's why Christianity catches that flack, you know. So in Islam, Similarly, people think incorrectly that Islam started with Prophet Muhammad, but it didn't. You know, Islam means one who submits his will to do the will of God. And that didn't start with Prophet Muhammad, right? So, you know, if you want to stay divided, then we could, you know, focus on our labels more so than we focus on our practice.
Hey, listen, we gonna hold you right there because we got to do another commercial break.
Okay,
But,
yes,
but we
sir.
ain't done with this. We coming back
Yes,
with
sir.
the code, and we gonna make sure that we figure out how to implement this. It's just the start of the conversation. This is the seed. You're listening to Nyumba Upendo on WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to Nyumba Upendo. That's the House of Love. This is Brother Kweku, WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. Man, Jermaine and Byron, the time always goes by too quickly. But
Yes,
we
sir.
talking about a 13-point plan code, and we ain't been able to get through all of them. And that's how it is, really, Brother Gap. But it's like we got a chance to name them. But I want you to go back in what we're talking about, and even to the call what Meech was saying, because he's like, you know, sometimes people don't subscribe to a dogmatic religion.
Yes, sir.
But you were saying we got like this divine connection anyway. So it don't
Yes,
matter
sir.
what religion you may particularly subscribe to. And even
Yes,
for those
sir.
who are atheists, you got a moral value, ethic kind of code that
Yes,
we
sir.
live by, where it's just kind of internal. I help my brother. So
Right.
when we talking about this, how do we get to the people? We talked about where the social engineering is so heavy, it's so noisy, it blocks out the good words or make them think that, man, you got to be a sucker for doing this. I'm going to get over because the social engineering is so heavy. How do we really touch those minds and hearts?
Well, scriptures say, man, that the seeing is responsible for the blind, and a lot of the things that we see our people doing, believe it or not, they may not know no better. You know what I mean? So we dealing with people who don't know better.
And my mama used to say, when you know better,
you do better. Absolutely.
But they got to know.
They got to know. You know what I mean? And as far as, us having different religions and things of that nature, I mean, we got a set of laws that we live by that are municipalities, municipal laws. But nobody brought up your religion with that.
No.
Police pull you over. He don't ask you what your religion is.
He said you going 55 and a
40.
40.
If he catch you with an ounce of weed on you, he don't care what your religion is. Even if you're a Rastafarian, you going to jail.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So the same principles of law is the same principles that we would live by with a code of conduct. Don't matter what your religion is, I mean, we just are people that are spiritual people. So we got to respect God, our elders and our ancestors and everything that we do. That's just who we are. And the further we get away from that, it explains why we are where we are today.
Listen, I'm looking at these and I know we done talked about some of them, but is there one that's specific where you say, I look at this one and this one resonates with me? Read the one it is and why it resonates with you and how you help to implement it.
Well, I would say, I would not poison my body with drugs or that which is destructive to my health and my well-being. We really are a community now where you seem strange if you don't use drugs.
Come on.
And I mean, at one point I was like that, when I had my little spot, somebody came in there and they didn't want to fire one up with me. I'm like, who is this?
What's wrong with you?
Dude, is the police.
You know?
What kind of dude don't smoke weed, But when we look at what drugs has done to our community, health-wise and socially, right? Like we got jokes of, crackhead labor that we get for free. But crack destroyed our family. Come on, man.
Crack costs money.
Come on, brother. But that destroyed our community, man. And it's like drugs now, man, even though we know people outside our community use drugs, most of the time they got to come down here to get it. It's been put in our community intentionally.
For a reason. Okay,
and we know the effects of that. So me understanding that, that's why I was determined to live a clean and sober life.
So let me ask you this. Let's push on this a little bit more, because when we say drugs, we do tend to think about those things that are legal, Schedule 1, Schedule 2, kind of thing. But what about the drugs that they made legal? We just kind of talking about KRS-One kind of jokingly, but he was like, they got some social engineering, but he was like, meat that was made for all Americans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Speak on the drugs that they allow, not only in our community, but throughout our nation.
Yes, sir. Man, when we even talk about food now, like if you want to eat organic food, if you want to eat healthy food, man, you got to spend some money to do that.
Yeah.
Like you have to choose now between eating healthy and something else or some other benefit that you might have. You might have to sit that to the side if you want to eat healthy, because now in the meat, they putting hormones in there. They send meat down in our community that die on its own. It ain't even slaughtered. You see what I'm saying? Sick animals sending it down here. Not to mention what they put in it to pump it up to make it fatter, right? To make it grow quicker, right? Even the pesticides that they spraying on the vegetables. You know what I mean? All of this stuff, man, is adversely affecting our health, right? But so you could look at that even like something like sugar.
Yeah. That's the other cocaine.
Yeah, that's for real. So the sugar, even when you see these I'm like a square now, but these little Smirnoffs or whatever, and they got them in the flavors, the blunt wraps, they got them in the flavors. Man, they got them in now later flavors, man, because they bring
different flavors.
They bringing our children into it casually. You see what I'm saying? Making it acceptable to them. where they want to ruin their health before they even grow into adulthood, man. But that's just like the scripture that Mitch was talking about.
No, and that goes back to what you were saying. We will not sexually abuse our little boys and our little girls so that they can grow up in a peaceful environment. We abusing them with what we allow them to breathe, what we allow them to eat. So it's like the question again becomes, then how do we heal in the same place that's making us ill?
Yeah, man. So now a lot of people gonna trip off of this.
No, tell the truth. Truth hurts.
Honorable Elijah Muhammad said it like this. He said, the condition that we in right now, the black man and woman in North America, the best and the only solution is separation.
All right, now I want you to talk on that, because most people hearing, like you said, they say, oh, this nigga crazy. Oh, how we gonna separate? What we gonna do? Talk about, break down the structure on how that separation looks and how we can implement it as much what can be told to the public.
Yes, sir. Well, I would say, the scripture says, come out of her, my people, lest you become partakers of her sins and her plagues, right? So that's suggesting that you come out of her mentally first.
Mental exodus.
Yeah. So first you got to come out of, like with, in the Nation of Islam, man, you could get a whole room full of brothers and sisters and put cocaine on the table. We not going to take a bump. We're not going to smoke a crack. We're not going to have a drink. We're not going to play with little girls.
It's internal discipline.
It's an internal discipline. But in America, that type of thing is the norm.
Yeah, Epstein files. They won't even release it for a reason.
You seem strange. You know what I'm saying? If you're not partaking in that, right? And you could even look at some of our artists who were good artists who just might have just fell off the scene. They didn't want to be a part of that lifestyle.
I love how you got that in there. Said we're gonna support our black artists contingent on the stuff you give in our community is good for. We're just not gonna support you because you're black. If you're doing that, if you're serving death, we got to put a hold of that too.
And we have to understand, man, that death can come out of your mouth as well as the barrel of a gun.
Power, life, and death is in the tongue.
And we always use our art, our culture, music, dance, song, art. We always use that to shape our reality.
Yeah.
So when the enemy found out how he could take advantage of that, and shape our reality into what he wanted it to be. Come on, man. All he had to do was
I've been listening to Public Enemy all morning, and I'm like, what happened to this?
Come on, man.
It was a power in that. It was man, I can't trust. And ironically, man, they keep talking about Farrakhan.
Yeah.
And the one thing, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna toast it up for you because Al Sharpton's coming on soon.
Yes, sir.
I remember on the Million Man March, I couldn't go. And I remember he said, if you can't go, just take off of work.
Yes, sir.
So I took off of work and I watched CNN that whole day.
Man.
And I remember the people was hating on it because they said, this Farrakhan. And he said, I'm a man of hate. He said, well, if I'm a man of hate, how can the light be so bright?
Come on.
He said, how can something hateful produce something so beautiful? And so then he said, don't tell me that you understand the man until you heard the man.
Yeah.
And so when I think about listening to just the truth, it's not even about, oh, this man here, this woman here. But if what the words is coming out your mouth is truth, how can I not hear that?
Yes,
so
sir.
what I want to ask you is this, as we close, and we're going to have you back on because we got to talk about this more. What's the gem you got for the people that you want them to remember about the code, implementing the code, or sharing the code?
What I want them to remember, man, is that, we are a people who are resilient.
Yes, sir.
We are a people who survived the transatlantic slave trade. We survived redlining and segregation, and we survived in social engineering. Now, we gonna be the winners. We are gonna be the ones, but we have to shift our thinking. We have to change our thinking. As soon as we shift our thinking, we shift our reality, right? So that's the key thing right there. It starts in the mind. That's why I say, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
So is he.
If we all thinking on the same thing, if we all meditating on the same thing, if we all agree on the same code, our condition to change overnight.
Listen, man, this is why this show is called Nyumba Upendo, the House of Love.
House of Love.
On the voice of the community, because we want to bring the love and the things that can help enhance that love. And what he said is, when you see people not exhibiting that love for themselves, reach for that righteousness that is inside of them, because if they see the love from you, that's going to help them resonate with the love inside of them and help them be their best selves. What can I say? We're going to be back next week, Lord willing. You're listening to Nyumba Upendo, House of Love on WNOV 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Thank you, Jermaine. Thank you, Byron. Thank you, brother.
Thank you,
Shawn
brother.
Muhammad.
Assalamu alaikum,
Turner.
family.